What's up, y'all? Said the Entertainer. You are watching the Dominic Natty Show. You know what you doing. I ain't got to tell you what you doing.
Is Chappelle uncancelable?
I think that, yeah, you just got to be, you got to be watching, like just how once you feel you're uncancelable, if you think that that's what you're fighting for, that's the wrong approach to take to saying something that you really want to say. Not in the sense that, oh, can't nobody cancel me, so I'm gonna say what I want to say. You can find out people will cancel your ass. That's
you
true.
think so? I think that Dave Chappelle cancels Dave. Cancels Dave Chappelle. You think that?
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is that he will end up canceling himself if he feels like nobody can cancel him. That's what happens? Is that you end up getting in people's head in a way to where they turn you off, and it ain't even so much about everybody else turning you off as people just decide like, dog. If you think you're bigger and better than everybody, and you literally start believing that, then people start to go like, well, you know what? Fuck you, dog. Like, you know what I mean? And that's a slippery slope in this world we live in. I just feel like, people are concerned that he's trying to go over the top right now.
Are you friends with Louis C.K.? Do you think that he should be re-embraced again?
Yeah, man. Louis C.K., one of the great comedians. He actually used to write on my show, Said the Entertainer Presents. So I've known him for many years from that space. We've talked, we developed movie ideas together. And so, I do think that there is a degree of forgiveness that the world has to be able. I think this idea of cancel culture is one that we have to be very careful of like throwing people literally in the trash can when they make a mistake. You know what I mean? And I think that that's really the expectations is, certain behavior is warranted and usually comes with jail time or real penalty. In the case where people have, literally violated, personally, truly violated people. This dude had some lascivious behavior, if you will. But again, it was one that, it was one that I kind of felt like, he was definitely punished and, have been ostracized. And of course, the embarrassment that comes with knowing that that's your habit, right? Or your behavior. And so, sometimes that's just bigger than it all. So I'm glad to see Louis C.K. back. I can just say that much. He's a funny dude.
Regarding the Alec Baldwin situation, do you blame the actor or production?
For me, ultimately, that lands on the production company. Again, unless somehow he put his own bullet in there, and then you can figure that out. Hey, you got somebody as a bigger boss as Alec Baldwin is. He may have been rushing them. He may have been like, look, we're gonna do this shot. We're gonna do it. I'm about to leave. The light changing, the director. Things happen, right? Like people just, you got big bosses around, like again, somebody like Alec Baldwin, if they've been messing around all day and lollygagging and they got the shots and then they trying to get him to stay to do this one last shot, he might have been like in their ass, like, look, this it. I ain't, y'all gonna shoot this or not. And then you end up having mistakes happen. You have things like that, like where people don't actually finish doing the details because they shook or they're kind of acquiescing to a higher power, if you will. So, those things can happen, especially in low budgets, or when, or the power sources shifts. So, I definitely can see that being, a case.
With the Travis Scott situation, like, is the performer responsible for keeping a crowd under control?
In that particular scenario, I looked at some of the videos and everything. The police right there in front of them, they not reacting. That's their job. That's their job. I'm not a performer. So I really, find it hard that people trying to cancel Travis. I find it, rude that people trying to blame him, saying he should have stopped and he didn't. Again, for the most part, he there to entertain. He in an entertainment vibe. He got a very hyped show. He jumping, he hopping around, lights, explosions. It's that. Like, I'm not really looking at what's really happening. I'm just feeling energy. And only when I recognize that that energy is negative will I be able to stop and say, all right, cool, let me get off stage or slow it all down or whatever. But if it's popping, it's popping. Like it's people turn up, man, and that's just what it is. And so, I just really don't like that people try to, in this particular instance, try to blame him. He never was he up on stage yelling, get, y'all, let's fuck him up and turn it up and let's go. Like, let's get wilder. Like, he didn't incite it,
Right.
So I really wouldn't like him to take blame for that.